Hello everyone and welcome to probably one of my last videos on Battle Brothers for a while. I will come back to this game probably like I did so many times. But for now, it's come to that time where I give my honest, friendly and casual opinion about a game. Yeah, event. So, would I recommend the game? Would I recommend you buying it? The answer is yes. I think I have over like almost 200 hours on it. I'll be like on larger spans of time, and I never like fought any of the last bosses like the Kraken and everything. But it's also good for like casual playing like I've been playing. So I do recommend it. I can't remember the price. It can be that pricey. Yeah, whatever. Oh, a dog. So yeah, do I recommend it? Again, yes. Does it have its flaws? Yes. Does it have its good parts? Yes. But overall, buy it if you intend on buying it. So let's start with the good parts. One of the good parts of it is the atmosphere and the music. It does have its own like feel when you fight different bosses. When you fight different mobs of different categories, they do feel like you're fighting in that mood. In that, I don't know. It just gets you like when you fight the zombies, it's like spooky, scary skeletons, music, and it just makes sense. It doesn't seem forced. It really keeps you engaged. And it sets up the mood all right. The graphics, I love. The whole vibe and feel of it, so to say, very eloquent, but I just like it. It has its own charm. Yeah, I would call it like that. It has its own charm, and it's quite nice. It's like not too light, not too dark, roguelike, yada yada. It's just pleasant to play. And that's a big part of it, like the fact that it immerses you well. And yeah, the gameplay is also interesting, like the whole brothers thing, how you recruit them, how you build a relationship around them, because they have events between them and all those stuff. Although you don't have to get tied up to one too much, because they can always go away. So the combat is exciting, the enemies are varied, but I can also come back to that with the bad parts. So if you like turn-based, heavily RNG-based games with a medieval setting, this game's for you. There's not much to say. It's not that complex. Turn-based combat, decent chances, decent skill trees, all that. I did an intro where I explained a lot of those stuff. This is just a review, so I'm not gonna go over it too much. So basically, yeah, the gameplay is nice, the atmosphere is nice, the artwork is nice, everything goes. Performance-wise, I never had problems with it. It's pretty simple, but you never know. So yeah, but I think I have more to say on the bad side of stuff. So I'm gonna start with that. But before I do that, keep in mind, it's a super casual review. It's like just talking with a friend. I'm your friend. I don't pretend I understand everything to the last bit. Again, I haven't done the legendary bosses. It's just my opinion, and maybe you see things like I do, and this will influence your decision of buying it. But then again, even with the bad things, I do still recommend it. Like, I got my money's worth tenfold, so to say. So it's alright. I also got a lot of anger out of it, but that's the second point. Okay, so now onto the bad part. I feel like the game has certain mechanics, and I've seen people also mentioning these things I've been thinking about on the subreddit for the game. The game sometimes feels designed for you to have a really hard time and just lose brothers and It's just not fair, and the comeback is not that easy. It's easier, the comeback of losing valuable members, on the Legends mod, because you can train people. Here they only get experience like in live fights, which is stupid because you can train somebody very well and they're mercenaries and all that. Obviously sometimes maybe in the mod gets too cheesy because you can train them to be experts and without them ever having a real fight. But anyway, I'm going besides the point. Yeah, so one of the things is, sure, you can, when you recruit brothers, you can figure out if they have a nickname, what traits they might have. If they are called a giant, they might have the huge trait which gives them more health and yada yada. But like having to pay money to see that the guy is asthmatic or stuff and can't see the start. I think in the original game, let me see, because I haven't played it unmodded in a while, so let me see, what do I see? So I don't see anything. You don't get his skills, and if you get tryout, oh, you only get the traits, which is fair enough. But also, I feel like it's a bit cheesy that you don't get to see the talents. You know, you can see if somebody knows how to hold a sword properly and if he has any talent. Like, I paid, for example, for this guy, I paid, where is he? I paid some money to see he's tiny. Oh, thank you very much. Like, yeah, sure. I couldn't just watch him being tiny. Like, the tryout is just, you get the, okay, lucky, I guess. But it's still a bit cheesy. I don't know. Dumb, yeah, so, but the fact that you can see only the traits but not the skills that they start with and their passions, it's kind of shitty. Like, they're trying out for a mercenary company. Aren't we gonna test them a bit to see if they can swing a sword, how well they can swing it, to see if they have a natural talent for it, especially if we become like a more experienced mercenary company? Okay, maybe in the beginning you can't tell how good the person is, but then you can figure out. So yeah, that's one of my gripe. It just slows you down, paying money to tryouts or hiring them and then firing them just to see how good they are, because they might be super shitty. So that's that. The other one with the skill, like you can't see that he's tiny, you have to pay for that. So yeah, this, I feel like it's made to hold you down. Okay, another thing that bothers me with the mod is, with the game, is that in the modded version, you can get like some magic characters that have magic powers, and like you can get a druid and all that, and a Vala in the Legends mod. But in here, your bros, except if they're like cultists or they get like some legendary item that throws bolts and stuff, they don't have that much use of magic and stuff like that, considering that the whole world around them starts being magic. Like, it's orcs, it's goblins doing spells, it's undead, it's stuff. I feel like you should be allowed to harness some of that to some extent, and it's very, very limited in the base game. And the magic enemies are just cheesy. That's my opinion. Like, any magic enemy in this game, especially if you're playing vanilla and you don't have any magic of yourself to kind of counteract that to a fair level, they're just mega cheesy and are there just for you to do like some weird strategies and change your strategies, and just for example, the witches that charm your soldiers. I don't like any. I like when I play the Legends mod, I do attack magic enemies, but when I play the normal one, I just feel like, apart from orcs and goblins, I stay away from anything magic. Although that's part of the game. Skill issue for me. It's just my opinion. But I feel like they're very cheesy, and a lot of them are not designed for a fun, challenging combat. They're just like, yeah, I'll take control of one of your people and also put a spell that if you kill me, you also kill him. And this can just go on forever while I charm the rest of your brothers. And That's one of them with whatever hags that are called. So also the fact that the nomads have throw sand skill, which gives you some debuffs, but if you hire somebody from the southern regions yourself, even somebody with a nomad background, you don't get that skill. A bit weird, but you know. Also, I feel like the game can be very grindy at some point and repetitive, especially if you're farming for legendary items and you named items, famed items, whatever you want to call them, and you get unlucky with picks and with drops, and you just have to do it over and over again. And for me, that I don't have the patience, and because this game is so heavily based on RNG, I just lose my patience, make one tiny mistake, and from that one tiny mistake, the enemy gets a critical shot to the head, destroys my brother that I've trained so hard, and then we go back to the first point where it's super hard to train somebody back to where you lost your better level brother. And also keep in mind, I'm not min-maxing most of the time. That's another thing. Like, I feel like a bunch, from what I've read online, a bunch of those traits are kind of useless. Like, people are against fast adaptation. Sometimes I play like I feel like I can do something fun. I feel like you have more freedom to experiment in the modded. I keep going back to Legends Mod because I feel like it's such an improvement to the base game. But in the base game, you kind of have to go for the same skills, like Colossus, then you go Brawny, then you go Battle Force. Like, it is not that much mixing, and some skills are just useless. Or if you want to go till the end and not spend a lot of time, and like spend a normal amount of time in the game and all that, and maximize your chances, you kind of have to min-max for everything. Keep in mind, I play on the hardest difficulty on both the modded version and this, and I would recommend you do the same after you get some experience, because I played it on easier difficulties after I got some experience with the game, and it's just way too easy. It's not that fun. But once you get the hang of the game, you can play on the hardest difficulty and complain like I did that it's too hard. It's not that it's too hard. It's because it's so based on RNG. Just from a simple RNG, you can lose 3 brothers after, like, the enemy gets lucky 3 times after you got unlucky 10 times. And it's like a really exaggerated situation. Like, there's one enemy left. It's surrounded by 5 of your brothers. All of them miss their attacks, but the enemy doesn't. And it just goes to shit after that. And again, I feel like the game is not... It says in the tips, oh, it's a game about comebacks, do-do-do-do-do-do. But it's just not that fun or easy to train brothers back. Especially that you're limited to, like, what? 12 in line, and it's like 8 in reserve. Which, it is not that much, considering... If you lose a brother, chances are a lot of them are also super hurt. So, and the fact that the game limits you to 12 while the enemy can get to like 40, I don't know. It's just, I mean, in another like scenario, you can get up to 16, I don't know. But yet again, the game limits you just for the sake of limiting, I feel. While the mod enables you to go up to 20, which makes more sense, and you can go to much more viable strategies, and you don't have to count on min-maxing. You can count on brothers supporting each other, complementing each other. But if you're limited to 12, there's only so many permutations you can do. Also, I love that in the Legends mod, like ranged units are actually relevant. They're not that relevant after a while in the normal game. So I think that's it. Maybe there's more, but that's my biggest gripes with it. I haven't compiled the list because it's not that deep. The other, if they don't come to mind, I've been thinking about them. But yeah, I feel like the game, it is designed like, if you after you play it for a while, you'll realize the game is quite limited and it is designed to hold you back and have cheesy enemies, and the RNG can get. But then again, final words. I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep in mind that it's just a friendly review. It's just like asking your broski that's play the game casually, would he recommend it? And I would recommend it. With all its flaws, it has a bunch of also good parts. The atmosphere is super good. The gameplay is decent. Go and buy it if you've been thinking about it. If not, maybe wait for a sale, then experiment with the DLCs. But I'm not sure if the Legends mod became DLC dependent. But keep that in mind. After you play this for a while, play Legends mod. I've been delaying it for too long because I thought it's too complicated and yada yada. But it's just better. Like, it's enhanced. It's like way more fun from a bunch of different reasons. And it gives you like advantages. Like, for example, you can't heal somebody on a fight, like help them out. It's just like you can bandage them at best. But I have another video on that. I'll link it. You'll probably seen it. You've seen my gameplay. If not, go buy this game. It's good. And if the problems that I mentioned don't bother you that much, go ahead and play it. And I'll see you in the next video.